Baseball in the Boroughs, presented by Verizon. The Road Warrior Bets, they continue their winning ways on the road. They get a win in the Steel City in dramatic fashion on Sunday as they return to the 500 mark on the season with a 3-2 win over the Pirates. Let's talk some Mets baseball with the Sick Podcast Mets Magic host Jake Brown, who joins me now. Jake, what's going on?
I look like I just got off the golf course. Maybe the Mets won't be on the golf course early to mid-October if they could keep finding ways to win like they did Sunday.
Look, I don't know if you could wear that polo on the golf course, man. You might be distracting some people out there. It might be a little bit too distracting out there. I got to ask my producer, Brian. He hits the golf course pretty often. I
would have 4 buttons off. Here, this is very buttoned up. Would be unbuttoned. I'd have a sweat towel. It'd be a different situation.
Different situation on the golf course. All right, we'll get to golf course attire another time. But Jake, in Sunday's victory, Francisco Lindor delivered the biggest hit of the game, 2-run single off of Aroldis Chapman in the top of the 9th inning to give the Mets the lead for good. What did you make of what Lindor and the Mets were able to accomplish fighting back after being down in the 9th inning?
For me, Dexter, it was about the at-bats leading up to Lindor's single. And it's the sign of a team playing together, a sign of a team playing for each other. And earlier in the season, we didn't see that. And that's with Francisco Alvarez's walk. He was down and out on the foul tip. Catcher drops it, gets another chance, works through the at-bat, gets a walk. Then it's first and second. You're not moving guys over. Jose Iglesias, who has just been a savior for this Mets team. Candelita, OMG. OMG, that walk. I tweeted on Twitter, like, that was the walk that we'll see during a rain delay in 2027 on the 2024 Mets yearbook. That was that big of a walk. It led to Lindor's hit. Chapman implodes. You love to see it. You know, that was a great effort. And Edwin Diaz came in there, blows it, but the team gets his back. They score 2 and get the win. And that was a huge victory on Sunday because the naysayers were all talking about the bullpen, the bullpen, the bullpen. And they overcame what happened with the bullpen. And that's a great sign for this team.
Yeah, huge win for them to overcome the struggles by the bullpen in the 8th inning, get the job done in the 9th. And you got to talk about the starting pitcher in this one, too. Sean Manaea delivered another solid outing. He's been extremely consistent this season. He delivered 6 scoreless innings on Sunday. So my question here, Jake, is should the Mets keep Manaea for a wild card push in the National League, or should they look to sell him while his value is extremely high at this year's trade deadline?
Manaea is a tough situation because he's got the option for next year, and the way he's pitching, he's going to get a pretty good-sized multi-year contract. So he'll probably opt out of that player option for next season, which makes this kind of a 50-50 for the Mets. If I'm David Stearns, I'm keeping him. If I look to trade a guy, I really would rather trade Jose Quintana, and I know that's not going to get you as much back, but what Sean Manaea is going to get you back is probably a decent mid-level prospect, but not someone who's going to help your team this year and help you during the playoff push. I think that lefty is essential in this rotation. You know, if you're going to trade someone else, it'd be Luis Severino. I'd rather them trade Luis Severino than trade Sean Manaea. I just think having that lefty is important. You're going to get Senga back here in a few weeks, which is another righty. You have Christian Scott, another righty. You have Peterson as another lefty, but I think Jose Quintana makes more sense to get rid of him, and he's bolstered his trade value the last few weeks. I like what I've seen out of Manaea. And the other thing with Severino, he's been the guy holding up the OMG sign. He's been a huge part of this clubhouse. So you trade him, you might be sending the wrong message to this clubhouse. So it's going to be intriguing to see which one of these starters they do trade, if any. I think one's going to get traded. We'll find out who, because David Stearns is going to make moves here.
Yeah, moves should be made. Manaea right now pitching extremely well. Got to be happy about that if you are a Mets fan. Last thing for me, Jake, what did you make of Carlos Mendoza's decision to have Edwin Diaz close this game after he gave up the lead in the 8th inning? And what do you think that this win on Sunday can do for the team going forward?
I didn't mind putting Diaz for 4 outs there. I think you put your best reliever in. He's had 10 games off. I know he pitched the day before, but I think you put your best reliever in there. And it's a tough spot because Nunez gets the big strikeout. He's fired up. You think maybe you give him one more batter. But Nunez is more of an unknown. I know he's been solid this year, but Diaz is more of a known. And I know he's had some struggles this year, but since he's came back, he's been good since the injury before the suspension. So I did not hate that move, and I love keeping him in the 9th. I don't trust Adam Ottavino. Are you kidding me? Any Met fan who said they should have put Ottavino there in the ninth inning is ridiculous, because look at what we're tweeting, and I've tweeted he's cooked. Why would you put Ottavino in that ninth? So I think you had to put Diaz back out there. Love the confidence they had in him. You could say Mendoza's been too cute, and I'm not going to say you're wrong this week and, some of the moves he's been making. But I think Diaz is your guy. And what it does for this team, I think it propels them. Going to the final game of this weird, funky 4-game series with a 12:30 Monday game tomorrow. I think you're seeing Alvarez's toughness behind the plate has been huge. The fact he came back from getting drilled on the elbow and then, he's back a day later is just remarkable. I thought he was going to go to the IL. Sanga's on the way. Fujinami is on the way. He had a 3 strikeouts in a rehab outing the other day. Maybe Montes de Oca on the way. I know he's struggling rehabbing so far, but there are guys on the horizon. So I think it was good that they scratched this win out, because they're a couple of days away from getting another reliever. They're going to get potentially another reliever that they traded for in Matt Gage, who has had success in limited time in the major leagues the last 2 seasons. I'm not saying he's going to be here, but the Mets might have got themselves lightning in the bottle like they did with Luis Torrens with Gage. So there is help on the way. So I think a win like this, the morale, OMG playing in the clubhouse, do the dance with me. It's playing. Come on, Dexter. Let me see the hands. Come on, join me. Oh, my God. The Mets are fun. There it is. He's got one hand available. It's a fun team to watch right now.
Fun team to watch right now. Gotta like the win for the Mets. 3-2 in the Steel City over the Pirates. That is Jake Brown, the host of the Sick podcast, Mets Magic. Check that out. Jake, we'll see what the Mets do the rest of the week leading up to the All-Star break, and we'll talk soon. Thank you, sir.
Oh, my God.
There go the hands again. There go the hands again with the golf shirt. Thank you, my friend.